Caller, you're in the room.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Hi, this is Katrina.
Welcome.
Katrina, welcome back.
Thank you. So I had like an experience one time when I was younger with one of my friends when we were having a sleepover. And we were out in the living room and she kept saying that she like kept feeling something grab her hair, and it was like lifting it up in the air and then just dropping it. And so we went into the other room that's in the house, and we were talking about she was talking about who she had a crush on, and we were like only in elementary school. But I seen like a shadow pass the door, and I was like, "Did you see that, Stephanie?" And she's like, "See what?" And she really thought I was going crazy. And I was like, something literally just passed the door. And for her, she didn't see it. But then I seen like this big, huge, dark shadow figure. It was like from the floor to the ceiling. And it like started pulling her out of the bed. And she started freaking out. She was like, "Katrina, something's grabbing my legs." And I was like trying to hold on to her. And I was telling her, I was like, "I don't like know what's happening right now, but we have to calm down," of course, but because we were screaming and it was late. And she said she could feel 3 fingers holding and grabbing onto one of her legs, trying to pull her out of the bed. And while that's happening, I'm feeling her slip out of my arms.
That's got to be terrifying.
When it was really terrifying. And I seen this, it was like a cloud of white blanket just came over us. And it was like, she could get up. She got up. We both ran out of the bedroom. And she's like, "I'm never going back in your grandma's room again." Something was trying to pull me out of the bed. And a few months later, I had a dream about her, and it was pouring rain, thunder and lightning, and she was trying to come into the house. And when I was looking at her, her eyes were like pitch black. I was like, "You can't come in." And she was crying. She's like, "Please let me in." And I was like, "No, you can't come in because I feel like I don't know you right now." And then she stepped into the house, and we like ended up in the basement, and she was like following me around the basement, and she was still soaking wet from the rain outside.
And this was your friend, or this was the entity?
It was my friend, but I feel like she was possessed by something because
it wasn't all like entirely her.
Yeah, it was definitely not her, because I could feel it while she was standing at the door. And my basement, I've always had like a bad feeling about my basement, and I feel like I've even seen, I don't like saying this, but I feel like I might have seen the devil down there, or a demon or something.
Jesus.
And that one wasn't in a dream, that was in real life. But when we got to the laundry room, my dream I stopped dreaming and I woke up. But that was one of the creepiest things that I've ever experienced with one of my friends here. But the thing downstairs, I feel like my dogs won't even go downstairs. And the dogs that I used to have before these dogs, when they would go downstairs, they would bark and growl at a certain corner in the basement.
Yeah.
And that was the same corner that I thought I seen the demon. He was just big, and he had these humongous horns, but he had horse legs. It was weird, but
yeah, no, that
was.
And this when you were a kid, correct? This is.
Yeah.
And how long did you live in this house?
I grew up in this house. My grandma's had it before my mom was born.
Mm.
Got it. And
yeah.
Which part of the country, if you don't mind me asking?
Minnesota.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that it's gotta feel like surreal to like see your friend at the front door and not be able to recognize him. Like if Austin came over to my house, like I would know.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just, and so I figure for you were super conflicted.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to let her in, but then I kept telling her she couldn't come in. I was like, no, you can't come in. Because I told them in the dream, I was like, I really don't know who or what you are right now.
Right. Like, I'm not going to just let anybody into my house. Yeah.
And she was like, no, it's me, Stephanie. And I was like, nope. And
no,
then
it's me, Steph. And like they use their government name. And you're like, that's not how we talk. Like if George was at my door like that and he was like, I'm George MC, I'd be like,
sure.
When would you? He would probably
spy.
Yeah, like
yeah, like bye, Felicia. But I feel like eventually, like I feel like I might have let my guard down in my dream because we ended up in the basement. But
what?
It was like from when I was in the dream, she was at the door. I looked at her, kept telling her she couldn't come in. And then like 1 minute we were at the door in the kitchen because that's the back doors in the kitchen area. And then the stairs are like right across from the back door. But we ended up, it was like a flash. It was like 1 minute we're there in the kitchen and then the next minute we were in the basement and she was following me around. And I was like, I don't know who you are. You need to leave. And she still had her hair all wet because it was raining outside. It kind of reminded me of The Ring, how her hair was wet and long. And
yeah.
And she has black hair too, so it didn't make it even. I was like, no.
Yeah,
Are you still in contact with this friend?
No.
Did you ever bring it up again before you stopped communicating?
I did one time when we were, it was around like probably 2019 when I told her, and then we stopped talking in 2020.
Wow.
What did they say when you brought it up?
She was just like, man, I can't believe you had a dream like that. And I was like, because I was telling her, I was like, do you remember when that thing was trying to pull you out of my grandma's bed? And she's like, yeah, I remember that. And she's like, all I could remember was the three fingers. And she grabbed my arm with her three fingers. And she's like, it felt like this. I was like, a couple months after that, I had a dream that you were at my door and it was raining. And I told her how she looked like she was possessed or she was like a demon. And she's like, I don't know why you would have a dream like that about
I don't know why I would either.
Explain.
I'm like, she's never a good friend either. So we always had our arguments and
maybe it was just like, hey, don't be trifling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, because 1 minute she's my best friend. We were friends since second grade. But then, like, as we got older, like, we would argue, stop being friends, and then, you know, later on we'd come back and say sorry. But it just, at 2020, we had a falling out and I stopped talking to her. I was like, look, you're getting put in that red book
Ooh.
The red book where I never talk to you again.
Oh, dang. Now we know.
Well, what
we
a
never
great
wanna make that
story.
red book.
I think that's going to be our last call. So I thank you for calling in.
Yes.
That was
Of course.
That was good. It was detailed. I feel like I was there.
the
like
fact that your friend gets dragged out of the bed is
Yes.
terrifying.
I know. I was like, I can't hold on to you. Like I couldn't hold on to her. She was literally slipping out of my arms because we started hugging each other out of fear and we're screaming.
Now, did you
And I'm
think
like,
of
we have to be quiet.
maybe you're just not as aggressive as me, but I just start swinging in that general area. Just start throwing punches. Just just seeing if I could just.
Yeah. Start punching her. No, just kidding.
And then all of a sudden it stops, and you're like,
Get out.
Oh, I'm super sorry. Why'd you do that?
It was you. Yeah, and I feel like that white misty form. I feel like that was my grandma's ex-boyfriend. Because he passed away in her room. And after that white misty thing, like completely covered us, that's when everything stopped.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know. I was just, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that seems like a very logical explanation as to the conclusion of that.
Yeah, because I would see him walking around the house every once in a while, just peeking in the room. And I know he used to do that when I was little too, when he was still alive. And,
Yeah.
yeah. But thank you for taking my call.
No, thank you.
Thank you for calling. That was
We got you locked in now, Katrina. We're never gonna not get it right.
Well, no. And I'm glad to hear that you wrote in to Aaron Carter's fan club.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay. We've all
I
been
had to
there.
when you started talking about fan clubs.
That's awesome.
We've all done it except for George. George is he's still trying to make his move on Jessica Alba.
No, not Jessica Alba.
Who is it, George?
Jennifer Aniston.
All right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Katrina, for calling in. Have a great rest of your night.
You're welcome. You too. Talk to you
Thank
guys
you.
soon.
Later.